This is Masterful Chats, and I'm Rebecca. Hello and welcome back to all of my wonderful subscribers, and hello and welcome to those of you who are viewing me for the very first time. Masterful Chats are short, clear, concise, clarifying conversations designed to uplift, empower, inspire, and support you as you move forward along your spiritual path and in your life's journey. And today's chat is about, are you simply fitting in, or do you belong? But first of all, for those of you who are viewing me for the very first time, I'd like to take a minute to tell you a little bit about myself. I am an information synthesizer, a mystical scholar, and an intuitive. And with my near-death experience, I truly know from the bottom of my heart that each one of us is a beloved child of God. We are known individually, and we are loved completely, totally, and beyond measure. And I'd like to say to each one of you, thank you for however you support the channel via viewing, liking, sharing, subscribing, or donating. I truly appreciate it. So now, let's chat about fitting in versus belonging. We each, as human beings, are wired for love and to be accepted and to be known for who we truly are. And yet, quite often, there are different groups and organizations, even in families, that we may never quite feel like we either fit in or we belong. So let's unpack this a little bit. Fitting in is where one is accepted by what they say, how they look, their mannerisms, their background. It's basically for the persona, for the ego. And if we don't fit in, it can create depression and it can create imbalance and fear within us. And often growing up, because we have such a desire to fit in and to be accepted, we can do great damage to ourselves. There's always a friction, it seems, in the 3D world with polarity of right and wrong, good, bad, either you're with us or you're against us. And that friction is, if we go along to get along and are not true to ourselves, then to the soul, that is a slow death. If we're not honoring our soul's path and our soul's blueprint. On the other hand, if we honor that soul's blueprint and we speak our truth and we do what we need to do and we go against certain thoughts and ideas and standard protocol, then we're viewed as being trouble, and that we've got a problem, and that we can be ostracized and completely thrown out of a group. There is this inherent friction in terms of relationships in the third dimension. For example, sometimes in a work situation when we're hired and the job may absolutely be perfect for us in terms of tools and our abilities and the trajectory of where we want to go with our career, but we may not fit in exactly with the corporate culture on some levels. Some things may be easy to fix. Sometimes we may choose to tweak ourselves on the outside a bit to fit in with a culture. And for some people, that is completely okay, and it's fine with them. To others, no. So everyone is different in terms of what works for them versus what doesn't work for them. There is not a one-size-fits-all in anything. And it's important for each one of us to know and to figure out what is okay for us and what's not okay for us. So fitting in is a means to an end. It's a way to be part of a group where if you acted differently to your intrinsic nature and your desire, you might not be part of that group. Now, many of us grew up in families where we may have been loved, but necessarily we did not fit in. So this has been a challenge for us our entire lives. Others watching this perhaps grew up in families where everything that the family did was perfectly fine with their soul and their path. And they did not feel a tremendous amount of friction or upset growing up. So everyone's situation is different and everyone's situation is unique. Fitting in, that moniker can be fairly tribal. And with the new energies coming in on the planet, the call for each of one of us to be our greatest self, to be our biggest and best self, is going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. The great part about that, with the new frequencies coming in, is that as we raise our vibration and as we are transmitting our vibration, that people who match our vibration are going to find us much more easily. And that brings in the other part of the chat, which is about belonging. Belonging is when you are known for you as an individual and you are honored for being that individual, where you can truly be and express and develop and self-actualize as your authentic self. And I bet most of you can think of relationships that you were in at one stage of your life where there was that love and there was that acceptance as two people grew together. But perhaps at a later time, there was not that compatibility. So the relationship ended for whatever reason. Because all of us are developing at our own pace and in our own way. And as I have mentioned before, that no relationship is ever really lost or over. We are all energy, and quite often people who come into our lives come in for a very specific reason and a very specific time. But after that relationship ends on the physical plane, we are still tied energetically, and we will still know them beyond this physical plane. In belonging, it is based on love and acceptance of the individual. And one of the biggest factors this year that we're going to see is really the beginning of the Aquarian age, where there is a huge collective to be honored in the collective power of the individual, but also the uniqueness of the individual will be honored. So be ready for more collective movements. We're going to see things regarding unions. We're going to see more protests, returning power to the individual and to the people. We're going to see a dismantling of patriarchal, hierarchical structures this year and into the future. And individuals are going to be searching for places that they do belong, whether that is political, whether it's religious, whether it's social, as we move forward throughout 2024 and beyond. When you look at 2024, go back 60 years, because that is the cycle that we're playing out now, is a 60-year cycle of power to the people and power to the collective. And 1964 was a fairly tumultuous year. But we survived that, and we're going to survive 2024 as well. It's important for each one of us to feel loved and to feel nurtured and to feel heard and to feel accepted. So I would encourage you to step out and to try some new things. If you feel that your current circle of associates, acquaintances, and friends is not really seeing the real you, or if you feel that you cannot be the real you, then be a little bit curious and look beyond where you're currently at. Look beyond to perhaps some new groups, some new affiliations, some new places that you could meet new people with interests that you do have and things that you are interested in. Because the energies are going to be supporting those endeavors. They're going to be supporting you finding people who truly see and understand and honor you. We don't have to play small anymore. And those of us who were raised to be people-pleasing and to not create waves and to make everything nice for everybody else, no. We are being called to be kind, but to speak our own truth and to move forward in a path that is in our highest and greatest good. And as I said, there's always the friction between self-actualizing and irritating those that don't want you to change, those that don't want you to be different. Because if you change, you disrupt the energy, and people have to respond and change or adapt or not. And quite often, that is why when we do change, when we do step outside of an accepted structure or paradigm, that we lose people in terms of relationships, and that there's just not the compatibility there that there once was. So it does require that we be brave. It does require that we trust ourselves. It does require that we take care of ourselves on a daily basis. But you are not meant to play small. And you're not meant to go along to get along. You are meant to be loved and cherished for exactly who you are. And in doing so, if you follow the joy and you follow the love and you follow the laughter in your life, that'll help you get there a lot faster. And I wish you only the best in your endeavors, and I'd love to hear your comments on fitting in versus belonging, what's from your experience. And please let me know what times would work for you for Masterful Chats Live. And if you could give me your time zone, whether you're in Europe or in America, that would be really, really helpful. Thank you for being here with me today for this Masterful Chat. I truly appreciate you and however you choose to support the channel, wherever you're at in the world, until we chat again. Blessings.